Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome, dear students. Myself, Dr. Ajay Semilty, again back with you for discussing this time gastroretentive drug delivery systems. In our series of lecture on novel drug delivery systems, we discuss the basic concept of novel drug delivery system, targeting the pulmonary drug delivery systems, polymers, and microspheres. Today is the turn of gastroretentive drug delivery. Let's open up our discussion of this particular topic. After completing this lecture, after going through this lecture, you will be able to understand the concept of gastroretentive drug delivery and the system, approaches of this system, applications of GRDDS. We'll be covering this lecture under the heads Introduction, the advantages, disadvantages of this system, approaches of GRDDS, floating GRDDS, high density systems, inflatable and gastroadhesive systems, and their applications. Now, what are gastroretentive drug delivery systems? The conventional systems are not enough to overcome all the difficulties imposed by the GIT. There is an absorption window. Sometimes, what is the absorption window? You might have studied in your ecology part that sometimes the drugs are absorbed from a particular site of anatomical site. Say for example, metformin is absorbed preferably from the upper GIT, from the upper part of the gastric region rather, to be very precise. So we will have to keep the drug for maximum time to the upper part of gastric region. How we can do it? We can do it by this thing also. So this is the absorption window phenomena which is shown by some kind of drugs, that they need retention of the drug or the delivery system or the dosage form at that particular site to elicit or to show the higher bioavailability. Otherwise, the drug is going to be released, no issue, but it is not going to be absorbed completely. Okay. Fast gastric emptying. Many times the gastric emptying rate is quite fast, or due to some pathological conditions, and the drug is, by the nature, it is, for example, in case of metformin itself, it is showing the effect only when it is being absorbed, because it is being absorbed only at the absorption window, that particular absorption window. And if the gastric emptying rate is fast, it will very readily pass through the gastric region and will move to the intestine. So what will happen? It will move to the intestine, it will release the drug, but the drug absorption will, because the drug absorption is bound to be there only in the gastric region. So the drug release will be there, but drug won't be absorbed. So the drug, totally you can say the therapy is failure in that case. And the restricted release in colon, sometimes the release is required in colon only. So what will happen? That we need to have the retention of the drug in the colon. We need that it reaches to colon, and before that it is not going to release any drug before reaching to that particular colon area. Okay. Now GRDDS, let's define it. That gastroretentive drug delivery is an approach to prolong gastric residence time, GRT we say, thereby targeting site-specific drug release in the upper GIT or any other part of gastric region for local or systemic effect. Now, why GITDS? Oral drug release systems sustain drug release systems. These drug release systems suffer from mainly two difficulties: short gastric residence time they are having, and unpredictable short gastric emptying time. The GRT and GET is the problematic factor. You need to control these two factors for many kind of drugs. Let's have a quick overview on GIT physiology. As you can see in the diagram, that GRDDS, basically what we are aiming, that we are developing the GRDDS to achieve a prolonged gastric residence time, GRT, by this kind of drug release system. So prolonged gastric retention time in the stomach could be advantageous for local action in case of for example, of treatment of peptic ulcer. We are giving the drug for the local effect, for the peptic ulcer. So there is no use if the drug is going to be released for major portion is going to be released in the intestine or colon. There's no use. We have to ensure that the drug remain in the gastric region for longer period of time. The residence is needed to be prolonged in the gastric region. As you can see that uh, in the migrating myoelectric complex, there are the four phases. That in the phase 1, this is the overview of the phases of the migrating myoelectric complex MMC. Then in phase 1 there is no motor activity and rare contractions are there, and it remains for 40 to 60 minutes after the ingestion of food. In the phase 2, the mixing contractions are there up to 40 mm pressure of mercury in the stomach and in the small intestine, and it is for further 40 to 60 minutes after the ingestion of food. In the phase 3, contractions up to 80 millimeter of mercury in the empty stomach for digestible food, distally migrating peristalsis in intestine. It occurs for 6 minutes. While in the phase 4, there is a stomach emptying of digestible and indigestible food and contractions diminish. And this phase takes up to 15 to 30 minutes. So these four phases are actually governing the GRDDS. And this is on the basis of these four phases, we plan the GRDDS. Okay, in which phase you want to work upon. You will have to focus on these MMC. Okay. Now, what are the approaches to increase the gastric retention? Number 1, co-administration of pharmacologically active substances. Number 2, bioadhesive and mucoadhesive systems. Number 3, size increasing system, which are when they are ingested, they are increasing in size. Expanding swelling system and modified shape systems. Other may be magnetic systems. High density systems may be there. Floating systems may be there. The floating system due to swelling of excipients. Non-effervescent system with an inherently low density, or effervescent systems which float due to the generation of entrapped gases, and combination of these systems. Now let's see this GRD's conceptual framework. It may be magnetic system, co-administration of the substances, combination systems, density control system, high density system, floating systems, bio and mucoadhesive systems, size increasing system it may be, and it may be of some different types. So GRDDs is a mix of approach you will have to adapt if you want to go for developing the GRDDs for a particular system. You will have to see these approaches, this conceptual framework, that what will be the choice of the delivery system you want to go for. Now let's take the first approach, co-administration of pharmacologically active substances. A prolonged GRT of drug delivery system is achievable by the simultaneous administration of pharmacologically active substances which slow down the gastric motility. You need to give a particular drug along with the main active drug which is slowing down the gastric motility. By this way, you can ensure the GRT, gastric retention time. You can increase the GRT. The passage controlling excipients may be incorporated also. When the substances are released, they delay the GI transit of the drug delivery device. By this way, we can ensure the increase of GRT. In continuation of this approach, you can also pre-coat. You can also use the pre-coating to alter the GRT. You can pre-coat their delivery system to enhance the pre-coating example. Before going to another example, that pre-coating is the simple entry coating. You say in simple dosage form, the modified dose from second generation one. You do that gas you give the entry coating by the cellulose acetate phthalate and other type of polymers which don't dissolve in the gastric region in the acidic pH. So this may be a particular approach. Next is to enhance the gastric emptying. You can say, for example, metoclopramide. We can enhance the this gastric emptying. To delay the gastric emptying, we can add the propanthelin. So depending on the need, whether you want minimal GRT or maximum GRT, you can choose either the enhancing the gastric emptying or delaying the gastric emptying. Okay. Dietary components like certain amino acids, fats, peptides, they prolong the GRT. Okay. Co-administration of fatty acid salts like salts of myristic acid delay the gastric emptying. So you can use any of these for modulating the gastric emptying. Now moving to the bioadhesive and mucoadhesive systems. The bioadhesives, they cause the immobilization at intestinal surface, and the mucoadhesive mucus layer, they are immobilized. These systems are immobilized or attached to the this mucosa of gastric region. However, mucoadhesion we will be covering in a separate lecture. That a device when attached to the biological substrate is called bioadhesion, and if the substrate is mucus, it is called mucoadhesion. So it is entirely a different subject to be studied. However, just to briefly, this bioadhesion may be described by the electronic theory, absorption theory, wetting theory, and diffusion interlocking theory. We will be discussing these theories in the mucoadhesion, don't worry. But polymers, what we are using in the mucoadhesive systems, we use the high molecular weight, high viscosity kind of polymers with flexible chain length like chitosan, cholestyramine, polyacrylates, carbopoles, polycarbophil, gantrace like polymethyl vinyl ether, maleic anhydride copolymers, cross-linked dextran gels, and hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose, HPMC grades of some HPMC specific grades, polyethylene glycols, high molecular weight PEGs are used, sodium alginates, sucralfate, tragacanth, polyalkyl cyanoacrylates, and polylactic acid. Now moving to the size increasing system, we are going to discuss the mucoadhesive delivery system as we have discussed in a separate lecture. So that's why I am limiting my discussion for this point only, and then we will be elaborating all these systems in the separate lecture. Now moving to the size increasing systems. Based on the principle of expansion of pharmaceutical dosage forms, these size increasing systems are designed. To which extent? Dimensions larger than the pyloric sphincter. The pyloric sphincter is there, and which, if you increase the size of your system, it will clog. It won't be passing through this sphincter, and it won't be moving to the small intestine. So what you will do, you will take a blockade. You will make the size in such dimension that it won't pass the pyloric sphincter. Consequently, the gastric emptying of the drug delivery system through the pylorus is retarded by these systems. The diameter of the human pyloric sphincter is 12.8 plus minus 7 mm. The size of the dosage form, which is significant gastric retention, can be achieved. A minimum tablet size of 13 mm desired in this way. Dosage form should be rigid enough to withstand the mechanical destruction forces, because the gastric motility is very high. So it should withstand that mechanical force also. Okay, it should not affect the gastric motility, and it should not inhibit the gastric emptying or show local adverse effects like puncture of the GI valves. Now, in these systems, uh, generally these systems are referred to as plug tie system. Basically, it is a plug which is attached to the, which is affixed to the pylor, that pyloric region. Based on enzyme digestible hydrogels, gastrointestinal properties due to rapid swelling of the delivery system, we can design them. Addition of composite material like gross caramellose, sodium. This they improve the mechanical properties. Okay, you will have to add these components for improving the mechanical strength of the system, because high motility is there. That's why the mechanical strength is also required for these systems. A high swelling ratio of 2 to 50 fold volume increase is desired. Okay, is desirable. So focus on these particular points when you are moving for designing the size increasing systems. In the size increasing system, you can see that they may be of several types. Possible size of dosage form may be clover leaf, planar disc, planar multilobe, pallet, sphere, ring, solid, stick, and stick. Expansion or unfolding of dosage form happens after administration. After a predetermined period of time, the erosion of the device occurs. So the shape is also important. Okay. Now moving to the magnetic systems. They are composed of a dosage form containing a small internal magnet or a mass of magnetic material, magnetite particles, an extra corporeal magnet to control the GI transit can be used. A major shortcoming with this magnetic system is the external magnetic the field is needed to with a high degree of precision. A good patient compliance is also needed, is also required for the successful magnetic system, magnetic GRDD as you can say. Now moving to the high density systems. Doses formed with a density higher than the density of the gastric content, ranging from 1.004 to 1.01 gram per centimeter cube. Above a threshold value of 2.4 to 2.8 gram per centimeter cube retains in the formulation at the bottom of the stomach. So what we are doing, that you are making it high density, so it will remain at the bottom, okay, for a longer period of time. The devices are located on this lower part of the pylorus, away from the antral mixing. Consequently, the gastric emptying is supposed to be delayed. Heavy inert materials are used like barium sulfate, iron powder, titanium dioxide, and zinc oxide you are using when you are developing these high density systems. Now, unlike the high density system, we can also plan the things, because if a drug is going to be absorbed at the lower part of the gastric system, you plan the high density system. If the absorption window is there in the upper part of the gastric system, you plan the floating system. So floating delivery system have a density less than uniting. It floats on liquid surface. It do not influence the gastric emptying process. The filling state of the stomach is important here. A certain amount of liquid, an ample of liquid is required to be taken with the dosage administration. The drug release profiles are supposed to be more predictable, with minimum variability in viability in multiple patients. Now moving to the non-effervescent drug delivery system with flotation due to swelling. They are also referred to be HBS, hydrodynamically balanced system. They are single unit floating capsules. They may contain a mixture of drug substance and one or more gel forming hydrophilic polymers like agar, alginic acid, carrageenan, HEC, HPMC, HPC and sodium carboxymethylcellulose, SCMC. What happens that when they come in the contact of the gastric fluid, the capsule shell is the dissolution occurs, and then hydration and swelling of the polymer occurs and releases the drug by erosion. Now moving to the non-effervescent floating drug delivery systems with inherently low density. They immediately keep on floating on the gastric content immediately after the administration. There is the reduced risk of unpredictable premature gastric emptying in this case. Flotation mechanism does not need to be activated in the stomach. Long floating lag times are there, and it is achieved by entrapment of air and or incorporation of low density material. So what will happen that air is there and air keep on releasing from this system, and the system keeps on floating. So fatty components or oils, porous materials and foam powders, these you can incorporate. These low density materials can be added. Now moving to the effervescent drug delivery system with flotation due to gas generation and entrapment. Flotation of dosage forms may be achieved by gas generation here. Upon contact with body fluids, entrapment of a gas bubble in a swollen matrix, carbon dioxide is generated in CO2 generating systems, carbonates or bicarbonates reacting with acidic components, and then they keep on floating. Gas generating layers contains effervescent substances. In addition, acidic excipients may be added. Buoyancy due to gas generation and entrapment is done or is achieved. It is associated with the disadvantage of floating lag times. There may be lag times because when the drug is administered, the time is required for the generation of gas, because the gas generation is needed for the floating. So the time required for the initiation of gas generation is giving that particular lag time. So the lag time is little bit disadvantage factor there, limiting factor there. Or premature stomach emptying is possible in these cases. Okay. The combination systems we are focusing. In these systems, we are using two or more approaches put together. They combine the working principles of floating and bio or mucoadhesion. Okay. Joint application of swelling and bioadhesion can be achieved. It allows to overcome the drawbacks of the individual concept. What is happening that some individual approach may have one or more disadvantages. What you will do, you will keep on blending the approaches and prepare a system which is working by more than one mechanism. Okay, not just one mechanism. So that's why they will be complementary to each other in drug delivery. Now, what are the potential candidates for gastroretentive drug delivery systems? Drugs which are acting locally in the stomach, for example, antacids, and drugs for hepatic pylori or misoprolol, or for the peptic ulcer drugs which are required for the treatment of peptic ulcer or in the gastric region only. Drugs that are primarily absorbed in the stomach like amoxicillin, drugs that is poorly soluble at alkaline pH like furosemide, diazepam, verapamil, etc. Drugs with a narrow absorption window like cyclosporin, levodopa, methotrexate and metformin, which we had discussed. Some other examples include drugs which are absorbed rapidly from the GIT, for example metronidazole, tetracycline. Drugs that degrade in the colon, ranitidine, metformin. Drugs that disturb normal colonic microbes like antibiotics against hepatic like H. pylori. Drugs with less life, these are the potential candidates for GIDDS. Now, let's focus on the drugs which are not suitable for GIDDS. You cannot take any drug and prepare the GIDDS. Sometimes it happens whenever the students are taking up the projects for your research work or for your PG dissertation. They take any drug for making them floating drug release system, for making them gastrointestinal drug release system. You know, there must be some rationale behind the selection of each and every NDDS. So this we are going to address here, that drugs that have very limited acid solubility must not be developed as GRDDS like phenytoin. Next is drug that suffer instability in the gastric environment like erythromycin. You should not go ahead with that thing. There is no rationale. Drugs intended for selective release in the colon. You know, drugs are required in the colon. Why you are preparing the GRDDS? For example, 5-amino salicylic acid and corticosteroids. Drugs having extensive phosphate metabolism must also not be prepared in the GRDDS form. So you will have to be very rational in the choice of drug for preparing the delivery system. No, rather delivery system should be prepared with the need of the drug, with the nature of drug is utmost guiding factor. It is the governing factor. On the basis of precise rationale only, you should select a particular node of the system and other things like polymers, all the things. So the rationale must be very solid. Now focusing on the evaluation of floating drug release system. Density, first of all, because high density, low density. I don't think so that it needs the elaboration that how you will evaluate the density. Floating lag time period which a dosage form requires to rise to the surface of the dissolution medium after being immersed into the liquid. A diver, in a pool, when diving is done, that fellow goes to the bottom and then comes up. It is a lag time. Okay, it is a lag time also for the floating drug release systems. You will have to precisely evaluate this floating lag time, that at which time it starts floating. So in vitro you will have to perform this test. You can use the disintegration apparatus. However, if you are not having anything, you can do it in the simple beaker with a 1 liter capacity. Floating duration, time period which the dosage form floats constantly in the experimental setup. So floating duration, generally these floating parameters are evaluated. Either it is floating lag time or floating duration. The most appropriate apparatus to be used is, can you guess? Yes, it is dissolution apparatus. No, it is not dissolution apparatus. It is disintegration apparatus, because disintegration apparatus is also mimicking the gastric motility with this up and downward movement. Okay. Floating kinetics like resultant force and in vitro drug release must be evaluated. In vitro drug release you can evaluate with the dissolution apparatus. Now application of GRDDS: enhanced bioavailability, sustained drug delivery, site-specific drug delivery systems, absorption enhancement, minimized adverse activity at the colon, and the reduced fluctuation of drug concentration. So these are the major applications of gastrointestinal drug delivery system. Actually, we are increasing the bioavailability. When we are increasing the gastric retention, what we are aiming for? We are aiming that maximum possible dose which is there in the dosage form should reach to the systemic circulation, and that too to the site of action. In some cases, like in cases of peptic ulcer, you need the site-specific drug delivery. So overall, we are aiming for improving the absorption, bioavailability, and aiming for site-specific action without any major side effects. And we are also minimizing side effects with the help of GRDDS, because we are focusing the drug only to the site of action. Okay. Now let us summarize our discussion. GRT, gastric resistance time. we want to increase with the help of gastroretentive drug delivery system. We can have a good number of approaches. Either you modulate the density, high density, low density, both kind of delivery system can be prepared. Then mucoadhesion may be a good approach, bioadhesion, gastric mucoadhesion. Magnetic approach may also be there, and these approaches may also include the blending of the approaches together with some component which are increasing or decreasing the gastric motility, okay, or gastric emptying they are affecting. So we can modulate overall with the help of these approaches the gastric retention time and gastric emptying time. So GRDDS must be used for the drugs which needs the focus on releasing the drug to the gastric region for many reasons. For any reason it may be the reason of absorption window, it may be the reason of avoiding the first pass metabolism, it may be the reason of degradation of the drug in the intestine or the colon, it may be higher absorption. So maybe it may be any reason, but what we want to aim that we want to increase the GRT. So characterization of GRDDS is done basically on the floating time, floating lag time, and apart from these things, usual evaluation will be done. So floating time, as we discussed, that floating time and the specifically the lag time, these can also be performed in the, what we can do, we can evaluate them in the disintegration apparatus. However, the gastric that floating time, in vitro floating time can be assessed in the dissolution apparatus also. But to mimic that gastric motility, we preferably go for the disintegration apparatus, provided the size of the system allows for that. Okay, so this was all about the gastroenteric drug systems. We discussed also the application part. Now what you have to do from exam point of view, classify these approaches, learn these approaches with suitable example of each and every category, and try to learn the examples, okay, with application part also. So thanks for being with us. We'll be back again with the more lectures on the drug delivery systems, novel drug delivery systems in our series of this lecture. Thank you. Thanks for being with us. We'll be back again. Thank you. Happy learning.